Alright, let's get this started, I guess. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry, close some windows. Alright, touch screen. Let's continue. Alright, so to recap what happened in the first half. Let's see. This guy, Johnny H. Watson, was shot. And we're being blamed because we picked up a gun. And we spent extremely large amount of time talking to witnesses who committed perjury because they were told to by this guy who, despite it saying waiter, is actually a lead detective. And the lead detective wanted to cover up the crime because he was told to, because the Japanese government wants to cozy up with the British government. Because they don't want this person to go up to the stand because they don't want a British person to be possibly have murdered another British person. I don't know. It's very convoluted for a first case. I don't know. It's Phoenix, right? Anyway, we're finally cross-examining Giselle Brett here. Actually, let's see. This one, backlog. What happened right before this? Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, she quote didn't understand Japanese and now doesn't understand Japanese. Yeah, okay. All right. The victim's death.
Unfortunately, I do not know when the doctor burned himself. I simply enjoyed my beefsteak and shared a toast with him, remember? I heard the post-mortem state that he was killed with a gun. What else can I say? If there exists a way to kill without leaving a trace, then show it to me. But your inexperienced investigators couldn't possibly produce any new evidence, surely.
Well, time to press everything. That was the most beautiful testimony that has ever graced this court.
You're giving her way too much praise. I hope this to be the final time I'm forced to speak in this barbaric language.
Oh yes, she believes Japanese is an ugly language.
I do sincerely apologize if I have offended you.
Not at all. I think that's a little too whiny. Not at all. I don't remember how I did his voice. Being blessed with such words fills me with joy. That's not how I did it before. Well, that's what we're getting with. Hello. I knew all along that the burn mark had nothing to do with it.
I'm sure your Minister of Justice would love to hear all about today's trial.
Minister of Justice?
I'd like to see that bothersome hoodlum of a student over there receives an increased punishment for his unsubstantiated accusations.
Try to see if you can read what this says. Amen.
Amen.
Huh? Wow, thanks. Did she just say amen? Speaking of bothersome, we're ready for the next cross-examination. I'm sure you've already noticed that this bothersome hoodlum actually quite exceptional. You shouldn't need reminding that this will be your final chance at a cross-examination. Should there be no issues with the following testimony, then this will truly be the conclusion of the trial. Do you understand, attorney? Damn. Yes, Your Honor. Very well then. You may proceed with the cross-examination.
Unfortunately, I do not know when the doctor burned himself. But his wrist was on the plate for 3 seconds. There's no way he just didn't notice. Alright, then let's flip things around. Huh? I noticed something at the start of the trial, and you still haven't fixed it. The zip on your black trousers is wide open. Excuse me? Did you notice that? What? What? Ha! Huh. Of course not. That is indeed the truth, defendant. I noticed too. I'm embarrassed just looking at you. You could have said something. Dr. Watson truly was the picture of a British gentleman. He chose silence over making a big fuss. Is that so surprising? Ah, I see. Yes, that does certainly seem plausible. That doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway. I simply enjoyed my beef steak and shrimp toast. Toast? Oh yeah, because the glass was in it first. You just testified a minute ago that it was with carbonated water, right? At the time, Dr. Watson was only allowed to drink liquids. Because of that, he ordered carbonated water. Isn't that right, head waiter? Yes, I'm sure of it. You are correct. However, as for whether the doctor had drunk any water when I carried the beefsteak over, I have no memory of that. God damn you. Oh, I know what that means. May God's blessings be upon you, right? I'm pretty sure that's the exact opposite of what it means. Anyway. I heard the postmortem states that he was killed with a gun. That's right. It's written in the report. Bled to death after a single shot to the chest. Yes. You must be going over... Yeah, I gave a recap of what happened in the first half, so you missed like the first 2 lines of this cross-examination. Fortunately, humans can't die from minuscule burn wounds. And besides that, if no trace of any other cause of death was found in the body, and nothing but the bullet you fired could have killed the victim. But if the burn is from the iron plate, it would have been shortly after it reached the table. That's right. If it had cooled off even a little bit, it wouldn't have been able to leave a burn. And if the burn did come from touching the plate, then naturally, at the time, he would have already been dead. However, the reality is that the victim died from a gunshot wound. So long as you have no evidence to refute that, your argument is meaningless. Indeed, Prosecutor Ochi is correct. What else can I say? If there exists a way to kill without leaving a trace, then show it to me. Do you have anything? Like, I feel like this is the line that you're supposed to do stuff with. Without a trace? Whether you shoot with a gun, strangle, stab with a knife, or push someone down, when you take someone's life, there's always a trace left behind. Indeed, that is correct. Our police force investigated everything. I can say that with absolute certainty. Right, Detective Hosonaga? I strive for the most absolutely thorough investigation, to the best of my ability. There's no doubt that the average murderer would leave a trace behind on the corpse. But is there any method that would be an exception to that rule? If perhaps, by any chance, you suspect me, then I would have to request you to show me the means by which I killed the doctor. That's out of the question, isn't it? Don't be absurd. The very nerve. Suspecting a lovely British woman of such a thing. Such an insolent fellow. Aye, ouchie. Shall slice him in two. What kind of murder method won't leave a trace? So my current thinking is it has to do with the fact that it's carbonated water and not just regular water. Or if she slipped poison in his drink, I don't know. But we don't have any evidence. I don't think we have any evidence that shows that. I have to check. If you want to prove it, you'll need some sort of evidence. Evidence. But your inexperienced investigators couldn't possibly produce any new evidence, surely. What exactly do you mean by inexperienced? In the British Empire, all evidence left at the scene is preserved and investigated by police. But in this country, investigations are one-and-done affairs, correct? Yes, La Quantos is running business as usual today. That's why, even if the situation changes, you wouldn't be able to file new evidence. Hold on. Oh, this is a new game mechanic? I can like click on this stuff? And your inexperienced investigators didn't find a single shadow of a doubt. Isn't it nice? It's just so... how do I say this? Magnanimous. Yeah, that hits right where it hurts. Those words sting, my lady. Somehow, that prosecutor feels like he's trying to act like a big shot. I'm pretty sure it's just her imagination. So, Giselle's testimony just now. For just a moment, I feel like something was trying to jump out at me. What do you think, Naruhodo? I can't do it. No matter how much I press her, I can't get anything useful. That's no surprise. She's clearly very stubborn. So if we don't take action now, this cross-examination is over. No. Can't I find even a single clue? Is it really impossible to tear down that Born Bell's testimony? Hey, ask Sogi. What is it, Naruhodo? There's actually one thing that bothers me. What bothers you? Is it that lady? No, it's not her. It's the one next to her, Detective Hosanaga. The detective? In that last testimony, I feel like his reaction was pretty unusual. Maybe if I point out the good detective's reaction, he'll spill the beans. That's it. I've got an idea. Try pressing that lady's final statement one more time. Huh? This time, our target isn't that stoic lady, but rather that detective standing next to her. Oh, I understand. Asogi must be onto something. I'll try pressing her last statement one more time. Alright, let's do that there. I mean, that's not a new gimmick of the Ace Attorney series. You've had to do this in other cases too. That's it! The detective reacted to Giselle's testimony. Up until a short while ago, the detective was on her witness stand as her interpreter. But now, the situation has changed completely. Detective Hosanaga is now in a position to listen to her testimony. Maybe this is the chance we've been waiting for. What do you mean? Whenever someone takes a stand to testify, they try not to show any weaknesses. However, when listening to someone else's words, they let their guard down. I see. He's completely lost in thought. Now, why don't we try questioning that detective? Question him? Naruhodo, take a look at the screen. Nice formal. The screen. Right now, the lady testifying is our focus. if we slide this cursor, we can look at someone else. Then, while you're looking at another person, it just looks so out of place. Oh yeah, the music's great. Then, while you're looking at another person, the option to question will appear. Pushing them while the guard is down might give you some new information. If anything seems strange, don't hesitate to change your focus. Remember that. First, I'll slide the cursor and look at the detective. Then, I question. Alright, let's give it a go. Oh god. China. Alright. Try a few times to see how it feels. What is it? What on earth? Sorry, I didn't think I would startle you that much. Wow, I completely bypassed his defenses. This technique is more powerful than I thought. Now, it seemed like you were deep in thought about something. Maybe the lovely lady next to you had helped you remember something? If there's anything you'd like to say, please tell us. What? Just what is this? Did you forget who's testifying right now? If you have no problem with what she said, then this cross-examination is over. Oh, okay. That's not going to fly. What now? As long as he's still on the stand, Detective Hosonaga still qualifies as a witness. Also, he is directly related to the case, too. Detective Hosonaga. Yes, Your Honor. Is there anything you would wish to say in regards to the testimony just now? Very well then. If Your Honor must ask, I do believe I have something to say. It is true that the Imperial Police's investigations are still inexperienced compared to Britain. But I, myself, Hosonaga, I live my life by my motto. If you plan to investigate, do it to the utmost perfection. Perfection? Therefore, I, myself, Hosonaga, took from the crime scene everything I could get my hands on. That is all in the name of crime scene preservation. Call me a crime scene thief if you must, but I still did it. You're a crime scene thief? Her insults must have struck a nerve somewhere deep within the detective. For example, this! Isn't that... This is the bottle of carbonated water I brought to the victim's table that day. Now, 3 days later, it's just regular water. But this was once carbonated water. Let no one say otherwise. It looks like there's still some water left in that bottle. I swear, in this imminent new age, our country's police will become the world's best. I, Hosonaga, believe that from the bottom of my heart. I don't understand the witness himself, but I certainly understood his claim. The court accepts that beautiful glass bottle as evidence. If I may, Ms. Brett. Is this, without a doubt, what the victim was drinking with you on that day? Yes, that very glass bottle. I feel like, just now, it looked like she tried to avert her eyes. Very well then. Let us get back to the cross-examination. Detective, please try to keep yourself together. Single cough. Okay. Let's scroll here. I'm
investigate the bottle. Details. Oh god, gotta spin. Oh, and there's something inside. Wait, what's over here? At the time, Dr. Watson was drinking the carbonated water. There's still a little time left, but it's probably flat by now. Oh, speaking of which, my throat is a little dry. Maybe I should drink some of this to soothe my throat? Don't do it, man. Don't do it. You'll probably die. No, don't Naruhodo. At the very least, you shouldn't drink the evidence for our case. Yeah, you're right. After all, we don't know if there's anything in it. You're always full of surprises. It's carbonated water. We don't know if there's anything in it. I wonder. What's wrong, Naruhodo? You went silent all of a sudden. Maybe I've just found another possibility. Have the what? Like one of the other cases did that too, right? You take the painkillers. You take the painkillers if they're not poisoned. This label is written in a foreign language that I've never seen before. What does it say, Asogi? It appears to be French. This is some kind of luxury item. But what does it say? Go to France and ask them. Damn. You could have just said you didn't know. Okay. I guess oh, you can sort of see the liquid level. Oh, just gonna present this. This is the gloss bottle from earlier. Let's screw the cap. There's only one way the victim could have been killed without leaving a trace. Of course, that would be poison. Poison? That day, Dr. Watson took a drink of this carbonated water. The liquid inside the bottle could have easily contained poison. And when the doctor drank it, that's when he died. Order in the court! Who could have poisoned his drink? Maybe it was someone sitting on his table. Only one person fits that description. Of course, that person would be Miss Giselle Brett. You poisoned Dr. John Watson. You let off. How dare you make such a wild, baseless conjectures? Even a mere schoolboy like you should understand the position our empire is in. We only just signed the Japanese-Anglo Alliance Treaty. Do you intend to destroy this historical relationship with your mad accusations? This is no place for politics. This is a court to judge criminals' sins. What are you saying? Where she's from is irrelevant. Whether she's guilty or not is all that matters. Excuse me, may I interject? Aye, ouchie, will forcefully silence. Oh. The one who should be silenced is you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am! Well, what in the world? Suddenly, the air feels so tense. Please excuse my earlier remark. I fear it was quite rude. I sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart. Well, what remark could you be referring to? Thanks, Judge. I call the Japanese police inexperienced. But even with their lack of experience, I'm sure they at least conducted a proper investigation. Surely they investigated whether or not this bottle was laced with poison. Probably didn't. Of course we did. Huh? As I had stated earlier, I get it. I always strive for perfection. It is my life's goal. Then...
Naturally, we have inspected the contents of this glass bottle. My word! And what are the results? After analyzing it against all poisons known to our country, our conclusion is... This carbonated drink contains no poison whatsoever. What? Are you absolutely sure? That is the conclusion reached by the Chief Imperial Medical Examiner himself. What? Foreign poison. Please allow me to express my sincere gratitude to the people of this country. They just bailed her out. They so graciously proved my innocence. I am truly in your debt. Of course we did, but it's all part of the job, milady. No thanks necessary. How could this be? This is ridiculous. If he was poisoned, then all pieces of the puzzle would fit together perfectly. It would seem that all had been made clear with this cross-examination. Other than this pistol, there were no other available means to murder the doctor. Therefore, the one who committed this crime can only be the defendant who was holding the weapon in his own hand. This really is the end of the line for me. I do deeply apologize for taking up your time, Ms. Brett. There is no need for apologies, just as long as everyone knows the truth. Defense, there is one thing I would like to confirm with you. Do you have any other new evidence that you wish to present? Asogi. I'm sorry, Naruto. We have nothing left. Well then, I will take my leave of you all. Ooh. The other girl? Yeah. I must ask for your patience. I remember her. Who was that? I'm deeply sorry for interrupting this trial. I am a legal assistant. My name is Susato Mikotoba. Yeah, the whole script is British English. Because they spelled honor with a U. Mikotoba? She appeared, calm and dignified, in her desperate final moments. In her hands, she held a small bag enveloped in cloth. Just the last minute evidence, as always, to be continued. Really? So I'm assuming this game is like the other 3DS games where like, even if you game over, you just start back where you died. So that's why I'm not bothered to save scum anything. And it's not because I'm like a cocky moron. It's because I just believe that if you game over, you just start over exactly where you left off. And if I'm wrong, well, that's why there's a let's see, right here. Options. Turn skip on for unread text. That's why you can turn that on. if I'm wrong, you can turn that on. And? What business do you have here, legal assistant? Huh, and I was starting to worry. But it's just a legal assistant. A woman even! Oh, casual sexism. Very good. Very, probably accurate to the era. First and foremost, there's no place for women in this Supreme Court. I am well aware of that. Please, just spare me 5 minutes of your time. There is a piece of evidence I must deliver to the defense. Ha! Too late. This trial's already over. You get 5 minutes and not a second more. Your Honor. Thank you very much. Did I turn auto text? Who are you? I did not. I know there's some racism later. Spoilers. Who are you? There's no time to explain. Hurry, take this. This is written in English. It looks like some kind of report.
Good thing we studied English.
These are Giselle Brett's research documents. They belong to her? Earlier, after the recess ended, I went to Imperial Yume University. I borrowed these from Dr. Watson's laboratory.
I see. Then this woman really was doing research with the doctor.
Are you implying that this research has something to do with the incident? I don't know. After all, I wasn't here to listen to the trial.
Oh, that's right. Characteristics, reactions to, and effects on the human body of Curar.
Career? What's that?
I've never heard of it.
Time's up! I demand that this malcontent legal assistant be removed from the court at once. I hadn't the time to do more than a glance over the document, but I did provide a simplified summary of its contents at the front. Please take a look through it for yourselves, if you would like. Got it. Thank you so much.
Oh, look at that last sentence. Very convenient. Very convenient test or evidence here.
Now then, I wish you good fortune.
We cannot keep our British guests waiting any longer. I will ask you one last time. Does either the prosecution or the defense wish to present any more evidence?
Of course not. This trial has more than enough evidence.
Naruhodo, you no longer have the liberty of choice. This is, quite literally, your final chance.
Yeah, I know. Your Honor, please allow us to present this piece of evidence.
I recognize that fire in your eyes. That's the steadfast stare of a Japanese man who doesn't know the meaning of retreat. Witness, Miss Brett, may I ask you a question?
Oh dear, what?
Would you be willing to stay with us just a short while longer?
I do appreciate the invitation, but it's almost time for my afternoon tea. Thus, I'll have to excuse myself.
Ms. Brett, I ask politely out of respect towards you and your homeland. You may not have understood me, but I will not take no for an answer. Damn.
I can't help but think. You Japanese all defy basic logic.
I'm sorry to impose, my lady. Now, attorney. Present new evidence that you believe warrants further investigation.
I really wish I could like scroll backwards. Even there's only 2 pages, but this is like closer to where my mouse stays, the left side. Giselle Brett, it appears you were conducting research in Dr. Watson's research facilities. And what's more, you happen to be researching a deadly poison. Strange coincidence, eh?
What? Deadly poison? What's the meaning of this?
Its name is Kurar. It is a deadly poison that requires only a small dose to cause certain death. What manner of joke is this? You must have gone off the deep end. Kurar? I've never heard of such a poison like that.
Of course you haven't.
What?
There's no reason that you would know what that is, after all. Until today, this poison was never known to exist in the Japanese Empire.
It was never known to exist? Yes, in other words, the Imperial Police can examine all they like, but they'd never be able to detect this poison. Simply because the methods used to detect it haven't been developed in Japan. What?
Order in the court. Do poisons as terrifying as that really exist?
According to these research documents written by Ms. Brett, the hunting tribes of South America have used this poison to hunt since ancient times. To the researchers and medical students in Europe, this seems to be common knowledge.
They hunt with poison?
It's a deadly poison extracted from the bark of trees that grow in the Amazon jungles. It was discovered after explorers brought some back to Europe. If you were to hit by a blow dart smeared with this, its poison would kill you instantly. Isn't that right, miss?
Your claims are all nonsense. First off, if the victim was poisoned, then he would have been writhing in pain. Everyone in La Quantos would have noticed.
Indeed. Your thoughts, detective? Certainly. If a man was writhing in pain, I would have been on the scene immediately. Come to think of it, I don't remember the doctor being in pain. According to these documents, the complete opposite should be expected.
What? The opposite?
The victim did not exhibit any manner of being in pain. That in itself could be evidence that Carrere was used.
What do you mean by that? Please explain.
The instant this poison enters the body, it will paralyze all muscles. In other words, you will lose the ability to move any of your limbs. Even if the victim felt any pain, he or she would not be able to express it. My word! Of course, if he lost control of his muscles, the victim would collapse. However, if he used a chair to prop the body up, any bystanders would none be the wiser. But Asogi, there's something I don't quite understand. How does paralyzing only the muscles result in an instant death? You might regret asking that question. Of course, the victim can no longer move once the poison takes hold. Remember, your respiratory system needs to use muscles as well. The poison prevents that. Then you wouldn't be able to breathe? In short, the most accurate cause of death would be suffocation. For several minutes, the victim is still conscious, but unable to move or cry for help.
Inconceivable.
To any onlookers, it would seem like a painless, sleep-like instant death. For the victim, I couldn't imagine a more cruel death. That's the truth of Carrere. Then this glass bottle. Does it really contain that cruel, deadly poison?
That's enough nonsense from you. We don't know the poison, so we can't detect it. Don't play games with me.
Excuse me, may I speak?
A student, quibbling with nonsensical theories. How about you learn societal norms first?
The one who ought to be learning is you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am!
Is this how you Japanese always handle things? What do you mean? Stealing a lady's research documents, waving them around as if they were your discovery? Barbaric isn't a strong enough word to describe you monsters.
Rest assured that we feel the same way about you.
Why would you filthy ants think you could look down on me? Taking advantage of those less learned to get away with murder. That sounds barbaric enough to me. Do you disagree, milady?
All that aside, I, Alchi, refuse to accept your claims. You claim this fair lady is the wielder of a poison that we don't even know of? What a farce.
What's so funny? Excuse me, Your Honor, was it?
Yes, Miss Brett.
Why? This is gonna happen.
But why?
May I borrow that glass bottle for a moment?
I'm guessing the poison's like, it stops working after a few days. And she's gonna drink it. Whatever. Yes, I suppose that's fine.
Look at that. Look at that pouring technique. You little Japanese cretins should learn to not be so conceited.
What are you on about now?
From a British woman's perspective, this farce is nothing more than child's play. Fraudulent police in a petulant husk of a court. It's laughable. But it's about time we end this childish game. Cheers. But the Mikotova girl didn't give us the wine bottle, she gave us the notes. She has not interacted with this bottle at all. Ah, what are you doing? Mere carbonated water, now flat. Fitting indeed for such a dull court as this.
Oh, time to find the hidden back page in the back of the research papers or whatever.
Oh my. What's the matter? You all look like you've seen a ghost.
Then there was no cure in that glass bottle?
Your face tells me that you can't believe it. That's the truth. I must thank you for presenting the results of my research in your Supreme Court.
You've done a fine job, little boy. Wrong voice.
You've done a fine job, little boy. Now, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, ma'am?
May I finally take my leave this time? I think I've cooperated with you enough for one day, even if it's for the sake of our empires.
I apologize, my lady. Words cannot express my gratitude. That's impossible. There had to have been poison inside that bottle. So then, how? How could she drink it all and still be standing there, alive and well? I don't understand.
I'm glad I had the chance to enjoy this one-act comedy here on this tiny island in the Far East. My friends in Britain are sure to laugh at this lovely little story. Did that bottle contain poison or not? And if it did, then why is he still standing? We should already have all the clues needed to answer this question. Is there really a deadly poison contained within that bottle? I guess there wasn't any poison in that bottle.
What? Naruhodo!
Well, if there was, then she should be dead. Sometimes your naivete is so mystifying, it leaves me in a fog. Maybe you should be a clear dark night, like our school's uniform. Is that really what our uniform is supposed to represent?
Oh. Oh, that was wrong! Haha!
Now I feel like drinking poison myself. Did that bottle contain poison or not? If it did, why is she still standing?
50-50! Can I get it right the second time? Or is this like USB, where I had to do it 3 times to get a 50-50?
Notes, details. sure is. The culprit laced Dr. Watson's carbonated water with Curare. I know. The defense insists on this claim. What? You amateur! What are you getting at now? There's no way the bottle could have any poison in it. Just because she drank it of her own volition? Indeed, it is an obvious contradiction. There may very well be an explanation for that contradiction. But what? Let's think about this mystery, step by step. The answer must be in the court record.
Now, defendant. No, you deserve to be called an attorney. I ask that you present your evidence. Why is the witness still standing after drinking water laced with Curare? Oh, well, time to read the evidence. Alright, let's take a look.
He didn't drink that much. You see there's like an amount left. I'm not sure what. Why is the witness still standing after? Oh.
Oh, it's right here.
Poison is effective when it enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blow dart. Can you believe reading is necessary in this video game? The answer we need is, of course, within the witness's research documents. That couldn't give us any kind of answer. After all, this document and the English language are impossible for us to understand. You impertinent amateur, do not dare ridicule me. I'm not trying to ridicule you. I'm not putting on airs.
Indeed, this document is far too large for us to read here. Defense, I suggest you be more specific. Where in this document is the answer we seek? Characteristics, I think. It was page 2, but page 2 is not the answer. Characteristics.
Up until now, I've heard a lot about Curare. And there's just one thing that caught my attention.
And what is that?
Primitive tribes use this poison to hunt. They smear blow darts with poison before shooting their prey.
Indeed, that seems correct so far.
Naturally, these hunters proceed to eat their kills, right? So what are you getting at? Think about it. The carcass still has traces of the poison in its blood.
That's right.
Normally, people wouldn't eat meat tainted with poison, right?
You could say that again. I wouldn't dream of eating something like that.
That's when I realized, in this document, there's an explanation under characteristics. It states that the symptoms only occur when the poison enters through a wound.
Wound?
The specificity of it caught my eye. In other words, the truth to be discerned from this document is this. Curare, when entered through a wound, is a deadly poison. However, when ingested, Curare is completely harmless. It's actually a toxin, not a poison. What? Ms. Brett, you knew of Curare's special characteristics. That's why you could drink it all with such overflowing confidence. You impudent little...
Bird is real?
Damn it, Brad!
Naruto!
You're far exceeding my expectations. You really do have potential as an attorney. Asogi, do I? An attorney? As if such a convenient poison actually exists in the first place. If that's the case, then why? Look, an ignorant little monkey thinks he's grasped real intelligence for the first time. Oh my god, the racism is real. But all you can do is swing it around ineptly like a new toy. Cut to the chase. There's a fatal contradiction in that sloppy little claim of yours, little boy. Little boy?
A contradiction? Yeah, that's the more important one.
As you may have guessed, Carrere is a poison that's safe to drink. We believe that it's neutralized when it reacts with stomach acid. Totally makes sense, doesn't it? What's this about stomach acid?
Oh no.
However, if it is safe to drink this deadly poison, wouldn't the good doctor have survived drinking it? Ah. Indeed.
That makes sense.
We civilized people call this science. Do you follow so far, little boy? We have to prove.
Order in the court. If both of them drank the same poison, then naturally the results would be the same.
Then that means this poison called Carrere has nothing to do with the incident. Exactly. Even that should be comprehensible to a little boy left behind by civilization. Slow zoom in. What is this feeling? Something is welling up inside of me. Something I've never felt before. The conviction to stand against contradictions. Feeling like righteous anger. I'll strike it with all I have. It all begins with the tip of my finger. Time to corner my prey.
Here it is.
Don't play stupid, Giselle. Where did that fire in your eyes come from? You already know the answer. Even if both you and the victim drank the very same bottle of water. You already know why only the victim died. You know the reason for this contradiction.
I order you to present your evidence, attorney. If our witness can drink this so-called deadly poison, without batting an eye, why did only the victims succumb to the poison?
Had a tooth removed. Dr. Watson and the witness did indeed drink the same water. But don't think of the water. Think of the main differences between the people who drank it.
What differences do you have in mind?
Carrere only becomes poisonous when it enters the blood through a wound. Thus, if a healthy person ingests this, it's entirely harmless. However, if it passed over an open wound as you drank it, what do you suppose would happen? An open wound? Yes. For example, maybe a certain someone visited the dental clinic. Maybe he had a tooth removed. Ah! Oh! Giselle, you've mentioned it a few times. You were aware that Doctor had his tooth extracted.
Then the witness used that to her advantage.
What's happening? Why is she laughing? Since we've come this far, I shall reiterate what I said earlier. Truly, this is like a child's game, a mock trial filled to the brim with naivete. What do you mean? This is what I mean, little boy.
Oh. Got the gun? Oh no. But I just like take a gun or something.
What accident might befall this precious evidence you handed over so carelessly? Oh, here's the thing I was worried about.
Don't!
Allow me to teach you an important lesson. Oh my, whatever will you do? Your precious little evidence is gone now. What?
What?
What on earth just happened? That bridge just smashed all to pieces. This is a trial by Supreme Court. What kind of disgrace is this?
I mean, it is like obstruction of justice, but like this is the Japanese like justice system, right? And they may not have those rules in place. But that's the explanation we'll go with. What are you doing, bailiff? Quickly, retrieve what water you can immediately.
A futile effort. This carpet is a gift from the British Empire. It does quite the fine job of absorbing water. Your methods aren't advanced enough to collect any. Safe to say, it's impossible.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
How could you do this?
You won't get away with this.
Well, no matter how hard this little boy cries and slams his desk, we will never find out whether or not the bottle contained poison for the rest of eternity.
You monster.
While, on the other hand, the evidence that supports my claim yet stands. Isn't that right, Sir Prosecutor?
Yes. You speak of this photograph.
That is right. That is right. Anyone who sees this photograph would agree. The poor doctor was sitting with his back turned to me. The only person who could shoot the victim from the front is this little boy.
Here's what really happened. On that day, you used Career to poison the victim. Following that, or to pin the crime on Ryunosuke Naruhodo. You took action when you saw him pick up the pistol from the floor. You drew your own concealed pistol and shot the doctor's corpse. Then, in the ensuing chaos, all you had to do was rotate the chair around with the body. With that in mind, you're still a suspect.
You've got quite an imagination, little boy. I concealed the pistol? I shot his corpse? There's no evidence in the world that could prove that.
Exactly! As long as there isn't any evidence, the prosecution's stance will not change. The victim, Dr. Watson, was shot by Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The defendant is the one and only suspect. Yeah.
Darn it, this is absurd. We've come so far, and now she's going to get away like this? All we can do is watch as she destroys evidence for her own gain?
Naruhodo,
Asogi.
I've helped you come this far, but now the trial's in your hands.
Huh? Why me?
We have lost our decisive evidence. Right now, if there are any final clues, they can only be within your mind.
Within my mind?
Remember? You said you at least had confidence in your own observational skills. It's like, this game is making canon that all, like, the main character has photographic memory. It is now canon.
But of course, we could just forget that I managed to overlook that flashy Western diva.
Think back to the moment of the crime. Remember what you saw, what you felt, even the colors and the smells. The character, Ryunosuke. All the main, like Phoenix, right? You know, Apollo, all the main characters have photographic memory. Like, everyone has photographic memory, really.
What I saw and what I felt. Even the colors. I wonder. The answer really lie dormant within my chromatic memories? clue that points toward the culprit who shot Dr. Watson. Sure. Is it blood? Asogi, I think I may have found it. The clue that lies dormant within my memories. Truly, you never cease to amaze. Take that clue and shove it in their faces. Right. I'll do just that. There's one strange feeling that lies dormant within my memories. Could that be the key that opens the door to the truth? The clue that reveals the true culprit is...
Like, that's the only thing that you can see.
Detective Hosonaga, I've got a question for you. Yes? How may I help you? It looks like he's still in shock from that glass bottle shattering. As I recall, you claim that you always strive for perfection, right? Exactly. Then, Detective, is it safe to assume that you confiscated everything from the scene? Including, perhaps, the beefsteak plate that was left on the victim's table? Hold on! What are you... What made a joke of this? Is this? It's no joke. This is all about my memories. What of your memories? At the time, I was an eyewitness too. I saw what was shown in this photograph of the scene. Notice the wooden slab being used to carry the beefsteak. I saw blood on it. What? So? I'm sure it splattered onto it after you shot the doctor. Wrong. Try again. Take a closer look at how everything and everyone is arranged in the photo. The beefsteak plate is more or less located directly behind the victim. If I shot the doctor from the front, then it would be impossible for the blood to splash onto the plate behind him. Ah! I see. If there are bloodstains on the plate, then that would mean the person who shot the victim would be the one sitting on the other side of the table. That would be none other than Giselle Brett. What? The audacity of such a ridiculous claim is galling. Your own memories? Do you really expect us to believe a murderer's tales? God. I, Satoru Hosonaga. I believe that I became a detective for the sake of this very moment. Detective Hosonaga, then you mean... Of course, I did indeed bring it with me. All in the name of honest crime scene preservation. Call me a crime scene thief if you must. I even took the half-eaten meat. What? This lady's meal. Even the soldier's meal. I confiscated all indiscriminately in the name of justice. Present it for inspection right away. We have to see if Giselle's plate has blood on it. Detective, I order you to present the beefsteak that was at the victim's table on the day of the incident. Yes, sir! I apologize for the delay. This is the beefsteak in question. So what about the blood? Did you find any? It's impossible. It can't be there. Quickly now, present it to the court. Show us all the blood. Very well. Look to your heart's content. It's not there. Where's the blood? I don't see any. No. No! Why? I know I saw it. I swear it was there. The plate of beefsteak was right behind the doctor, and there was blood on it. Hee hee hee. You ought to see the look on your face, little boy. Everyone in the civilized world knows that Japanese can't be trusted. Ugh. I couldn't agree more. You damn Japanese. Wow. You damn Japanese. Why you do this?
The court has now reached a conclusion once and for all.
But of course, as for this pitiful mock trial, let's just forget this ever happened, shall we? Look at all you want, but you'll never find any blood on this sorry piece of meat. There's blood on the inside. Look at it! Look at it with your sorry eyes! Well, time to examine. Oh, 3D! Very 3D.
Excuse me? Is that the koala?
What? What is that?
This is a koban. Judging by the seal, I guess it's from the Hoei era.
No, that's not the point. Why was there a koban sitting under the beefsteak? Hold on a second. Did you say Hoei era?
That's right. It's covered in meat sauce, but that wouldn't increase its value.
Koban from the Hoei era. Where have I heard that before?
I've heard of pearls before swine, but gold before bovine would be a first. Ha ha ha.
I really doubt that you'll ever hear that again. Honestly, it's incredible that we even found this.
I can't believe, like, his instinct is to lift up the meat to see anything underneath, because I would have never have tried that in real life.
It's hard to believe such a precious coin would be lying under a hunk of meat. Especially considering that objects from the Hoei era are so valuable. Yeah, and now it's covered with all that thick gravy. If that's gravy. Getting hungry, Naruhodo? Very funny. Well, the next time someone serves me beefsteak at a restaurant, I'll be sure to give the meat a careful flip before I dig in. I hope you aren't mistaking beefsteak for some kind of lottery. We found the koban under this beefsteak. The only reasonable conclusion. Very, very curious. Was the blood I saw only an illusion? This time it's certain. We've lost. Naruhodo, the gavel still hasn't swung on your fate. Huh? Believe in yourself. Keep looking forward until the bitter end. Believe in myself? There's only one thing left to do. I need to look it over one more time.
No issues were found with the evidence requested by the defense. Therefore, the inspection of all the evidence in question ends here. Do you have any objections, attorney?
Bloodstain was supposed to be the finishing blow. Are there any more clues I can find in the doctor's beefsteak? Let's drag out the trial. This is what Phoenix's bloodline does. You just drag out the trial, just bluff it out, everything will work out. Your Honor, please wait. This beefsteak right here still holds a shocking truth within it. The only shocking thing here is your abnormal obsession with that beefsteak. Your Honor, I'm sure you're aware, but we could talk about boring little details all day. They'll never amount to anything.
We've come this far. It's only fair to inspect every piece of evidence fully. This is the decision held by the Supreme Court. My sincerest apologies, milady.
I thought we were allies. Are you sure that was the right thing to say? Your Honor.
Court orders the defense to explain further. Point out the lead you say was hidden in the beefsteak dish on the victim's table. There you go.
What?
we have to do this. This is a Koban, you know. Did you say Hawaii era? That's right. It's covered in meat sauce. Alright, gold for bovine. Here's a cow. Cow, there you go. I click on again. Reasonable conclusion. Oh, I'm supposed to present it, not examine it. Present. Oh no! Oh no! This is Koban? What in the world is that? This is a Hoei era Koban. Zale. This is, allegedly, the beefsteak you were eating before you murdered John Watson. Could you explain why something like this was hidden under the meat? What are you talking about? As if I would know. I've never seen that before. Don't bring me into your Japanese nonsense. Who cares about that? It's just a Koban under the meat. I'm sure it went out there by coincidence due to some chef's carelessness. What kind of kitchen randomly gets something like this mixed in with their food? When we happened to turn up the steak, there was a Hoei era Koban wedged underneath. If this really has no relation to the incident, I will gladly clip the exchange program. He has a point. Excuse me, Your Honor. What is it, attorney? When we turned over the meat, we found a Koban under it. If this really has nothing to do with the incident, then I will gladly step down as an attorney. You go to jail. You moron. No one asked you to be one in the first place. If you want to stop, then go right ahead. The only thing here that has nothing to do with the incident is you, little boy. Huh? Then why am I on trial? In any case, we must find the owner of this Koban and listen to what he has to say. The owner of the Koban? Yeah, now that I think about it, there's only one man it can belong to. The owner of the Koban hidden underneath the beefsteak is none other than... Yeah, like, it just keeps going, it never ends. Uh-oh. Wish I could move that button. It's right where the present button is. That would be the owner of the Hall of Discard antique shop, Saman Higurashi. Oh no, how typical the Japanese have such bizarre names. As I recall, that's the name of the old man who testified alongside the soldier earlier. Yes, Your Honor. Indeed. You mentioned a Koban earlier. He testified that when the crime occurred. I lost my Koban. Crept under the table and heard a sharp gunshot shortly thereafter. I don't know why the heck now. Crept under the table. What were you doing down there? Searching for a lost item. Koban! A precious coin from the Hoei era. A Hoei era Koban? Then this must be his. Well, wait! Why would a Koban from an antique shop end up hidden underneath the beefsteak on the victim's dining table? I think we should hear the reason for that from the owner of the Koban himself.
Have the 2 witnesses from earlier be brought back here as soon as possible. Find them immediately. Who'd have thought those 2 would come back up at this point? In any case, called a hunch, but I'm almost certain. But I can explain why this koban was under the beefsteak. I have no doubt that this will lead the way to the truth behind this incident. Why is the soldier also back? Well, what business do you have here? Will you have with me now? It's time for me, Uzukumaru, to feed my son, Kuromaru, his meal. This long now. When my boy Kuromaru gets hungry, he's more ferocious than a street mutt. When we treated as mere dogs for the police, were revealed to have borne false witness, we were branded as discard ourselves, or being banished from these halls of judgment. Heretofore I have decided, thus I shall carry on into the twilight, never more to utter a word. Please confirm one thing for us, owner of the Hall of Discard. Have you seen this koban before? Oh! That is indeed, no doubt that is indeed truly that glimmering, glowing Hoei relic that I lost on that abominable day. I know that Koromaru is in Persona 3 and it's a dog. That is the extent of my knowledge of this conversation. What? I knew it. Young one, would you enlighten this senile old fool who knows not how much time he yet has left? Where did my fallen rare treasure disappear to? I don't know if fallen is the right term for it, but your koban was wedged between a spicy piece of meat and an iron plate. What? It was between meat and an iron plate, you say? Needless to say, it is impossible for a coin to fall into such a place. In other words, someone was hiding it there. My koban was hidden between a piece of meat and an iron plate? Who was it? Who committed this atrocious act? With all due respect, may I say something? Detective Hosonaga? You may, Detective. As you all know, I infiltrated the restaurant as a waiter in order to secretly investigate a series of incidents. Oh yes, you did mention an undercover investigation. La Quantos is a high-class restaurant where foreigners and wealthy customers gather. Recently, a certain individual started stealing from customers using a similar tactic. Indeed, that's what was reported to the Imperial Police Headquarters. The world is full of despicable cowards, to be sure. Many of the victims are foreigners, thus we were ordered to resolve the matter post-haste. So the reason you infiltrated the restaurant? Yes, I disguised myself as a waiter to catch the detestable, atrocious individual red-handed. It's plausible that this koban was another one of the thief's targets. There's a great thief at La Quantos? We were unaware of this. I suppose this restaurant has already seen enough crime. Whether they can be called a great thief is up for debate, but the identity of the individual who hid the koban is obvious. What? Really? Alright, defense. Let's hear it then. The detestable thief that stole this old man's koban and hid under the beefsteak is
Not his steak. Is it her? Why? That was him. Oh, time to guess. No. Alright. This didn't happen. Like, there's only so many people. I actually have no clue, but it's like I thought it was the soldier, but why would it be under the beefsteak? The other choice is it was him, but he didn't eat the steak, so that's why I don't think it was him either. It was probably in there or after the meat. Well, just gonna mash my way. So my initial impression was right. I was just overthinking. Okay. Of course, it couldn't be anyone but you, Sergeant Uzukumaru. You little delinquent. I've heard enough. Delinquent? Koban thief? Great thief of the Quantos? You're really going to indict my son, Koromaru? He's the culprit? How could you pin your own crimes on an innocent little baby? That's awful. You're the most delinquent one in this court, Sergeant Uzukumaru. No! Gallop. Why is he having a breakdown? Oh, well, his back's gone. I see. Imperial Army, Sergeant Uzukumaru, reporting for duty. Do you even know how shockingly little the Empire pays its soldiers to protect our lands? Indeed, the temporary tax increases from our last war have yet to be repealed. I'm told that lower-ranking soldiers are living especially destitute lives. All I wanted was to be able to give Kuromaru warm food. So you decided to start stealing from others? La Quantos caters to the wealthy. Once every 3 days, I visit the restaurant to hunt for my prey. All the while, biting up chunks of that delectable beefsteak. Sure enough, he doesn't look like someone who could have used a knife and fork. So you did steal Sono Higurashi's koban? I did. Stealing from him was easier than taking candy from a baby. I deposited the coin in my pocket. Quite the great thief indeed. I moved to escape, leaving behind my half-eaten beefsteak. Suddenly, a murder unfolded before you. If someone happened to check my pockets, my reputation would be ruined. Horrified by the very idea, I hid the koban. I shoved it under the beefsteak, hoping that I might find it again someday. They switched the steaks? I've heard they the fan translator actually toned down the number of dot dot dots. There's still quite a few dot dot dots. This is ridiculous. I grow incredibly wary of being forced to bear witness to such a worthless farce of a trial. Azael. Oh, how improper of us. This time, I swear to end this senseless bore of a trial. All I ask is that you go home with a smile on your face, my lady. Indeed. This child-rearing soldier was the one who stole from Sono Higurashi's Koban. But I can't say with confidence that this theft is related to the murder. Exactly. What kind of barbarian would hide a coin under meat? Only the Japanese, I suppose. But barbarian? Even worse, he gnawed at it without using so much as a knife and fork. Even the barbarians are more civilized than you lot. Britons spit on that kind of conduct. Now that all doubts have been cleared from that testimony, the court will allow the witnesses to leave. You are free to return, milady. Then I shall be taking my leave. I bid you all farewell. Ciao. What's wrong, Naruhodo? This is no time to be daydreaming. Well... Something about Giselle's parting words just bothered me is all. I can't get my mind off of it. It's like when I found the contradiction in her testimony earlier. Then you have to speak. Don't overthink it. Don't even think about it at all. Huh? You can think after you talk. Now object before the trial ends. Oh, here it is. Object first, think later. Good plan. Giselle, wait. Is there still something you need? This is my last question, Giselle. I mean it. I just need you to explain one thing for me. There was a contradiction in your parting words. I need you to explain that. Again? What contradiction? What are you trying to pull? What do you mean, Naruhodo? Do you notice something about her parting words? What kind of barbarian would hide a coin under meat? Only Japanese has it. Even worse, he nodded at it. That so much easier than knife. Even the barbarian. It must be the knife and fork. I knew it. There's definitely a decisive contradiction in there. Very well, attorney. Very well, attorney. I order you to present your evidence. Show us the evidence that proves that there is a contradiction in Miss Giselle Brett's statements. Those look like bites. I don't know about you, but I am not good enough. I don't think even the British are good enough to make curved slices in meat. That seems like a high level skill. And this is the beefsteak that Ms. Brett was eating before the crime, correct? To be more precise, this is the beefsteak on the victim's table at the time of the incident. What does it matter? They both mean the same thing. If you look closely, you might notice something unusual about this beefsteak. What? What's unusual about it? That would be the way the meat was cut, of course. Have you caught on yet? Have you caught on yet, Giselle? Explain yourself. Now, Giselle made a strange claim before. She said that she would never bite into a beefsteak without using a knife and fork. Well, of course, she is a lady after all. Then look at the way the meat was cut.
As you can see, these patterns are animalistic bite marks. Ah. Looks like she's seen her mistake too. If the witness had elegantly eaten her meal with a knife and fork, then the beefsteak wouldn't have crude bite marks like this. But regardless of how she ate it, what are you getting at? Maybe my lady was so famous that she couldn't help but chow to... Oh, what is the matter, my lady? I really must excuse myself. I'll be late for my afternoon tea date with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Oh, but I promise you, this trial will be over so very soon. Leave it to me, Prosecutor Auchi, and I will render this young... Shut your mouth, four-eyed samurai scum. Yes, ma'am. Whoa, she's really losing her composure now. It looks like she's finally starting to understand. She knows what the bite marks imply. What? Naruhodo? This time, the puzzle's really coming together. First, she claims to use a fork and knife, but her steak is covered in bite marks. Then, the bloodstain remembered somehow disappeared. And now, I have evidence that can prove who the culprit is. The one who really shot Dr. Watson. Indeed, those bite marks may be unusual, but I still fail to see what this clears up. Why, it clears up everything, of course. Everything? I'd wager that these disgusting bite marks are connected to a decisive piece of evidence. The evidence that will finally prove who really shot Dr. Watson. I am fed up with listening to you prattle on. What decisive evidence could you possibly have? It doesn't exist. It is so like you Japanese to try a cheap bluff like this.
What makes you so sure about that?
Simple. Had such a thing existed, it would have been presented long ago. Yes, you're right that it hasn't been presented yet. What? But even if it hasn't been presented, that evidence still exists. That's absurd! Who keeps evidence hidden this far into the trial? That sort of thing just doesn't happen. But I know exactly the person who possesses such evidence. Detective. Once I request that evidence, the entire mystery surrounding this incident will be resolved.
Very well. This will be my last request to you, attorney. Tell us who holds the final piece of evidence that will expose the truth.
Of course, that will be Detective Hosonaga. What do you mean by of course? Huh? I would never conceal evidence. That's preposterous. No, that's not what I meant at all. I'd like everyone to focus on this. The bite marks on this beefsteak.
The bite marks?
Earlier, Sergeant Uzukumaru said this. Biting up chunks of that delectable beefsteak. Then he stole Sono Higurashi's koban and hid it under the beefsteak.
What do you think you're doing, kid? You think you can fight a soldier?
Sergeant, I have a question for you. Just to make sure, you did hide this koban under your own beefsteak, right?
Gah! Of course! While I may be a soldier, I have not the gall to just slip something under a lady's meal right in front of her.
In other words, Detective Hosonaga actually presented your own beefsteak to the court.
But isn't that strange? This beefsteak was found on the victim's table.
She claims to have used a fork and knife, and she had no way to steal the koban. Of course not. The very thought is an insult to the great British Empire.
If all this is true, what are we supposed to make of this contradiction?
Oh, I see now. Are you saying... The sergeant switched his own meal with the victims? Close. Well, is that what you're saying?
The truth is, time of the incident. Oh, so you did it? When a man was murdered right in front of me, my mind went blank. Before I realized what I was doing, I had turned over my beefsteak and hidden the crowbar. That waiter came over and revealed that he was a detective, preventing my escape. If that detective looked under my meat, he would have shattered my life to pieces. I saw an opening where the student was being arrested and led to the kitchen. I see. I switched my beefsteak with Miss Brett's as fast as I could.
What? I didn't know anything about that. I did not witness that.
I executed my strategy as fast as lightning. There was no time to think. In that moment, there was no other options. That's right. I had no choice but to do it. What? However, rest assured, prosecutor. Assured of what? I swear to you, as an Imperial soldier, I have now told you everything. That's my whole story. I didn't want to hear your story to begin with.
It has now been established that the beefsteaks were switched. That means that Sergeant Uzukumaru took Ms. Brett's meal and brought it to his own table.
Indeed, that seems to be the case.
Detective Hosonaga. Yes? I remember what you said about the beefsteaks. You collected both Gisele's and Sergeant Uzukumaru's beefsteaks, right? You seized both of them as evidence. Ah! Indeed, I did. Now's the time to present the other one. Show us the beefsteak tray that was on Ms. Brett's table before the switch. I'm jamming. What is that beefsteak supposed to prove? There's no way that a cold, dry, stiff piece of meat can have any relation to this incident.
That simply isn't going to fly, milady.
What is wrong with you?
First off, you should be able to remember this. What was it that brought the beefsteaks into this debate again?
Aren't you the one who brought it up?
The source of this debate all began with this man's memory.
His memory. At that moment, I saw it clearly. The beefsteak dish that should have been right behind Dr. Watson definitely had a bloodstain on it.
I have faith in the defendant's memories. The one piece of evidence that corroborates his memories is the lady's beefsteak plate. Very well then, detective. I hereby order you to present the other beefsteak. Show us Miss Brett's beefsteak, the one that was moved to the soldier's table. Yes, Your Honor.
I see the blood on it. I apologize for the wait. This is the other beefsteak. Please, look to your heart's content. Bloodstain. I can see it. And now you all see the truth. This bloodstain here confirms it. When the victim was shot, his back was turned to me.
In other words, it is impossible for Naruhodo to have shot the victim.
It can't be. The only one who could have shot Dr. Watson was in front of him at the time. And only one person meets that description. Do I need to continue? That's right. That person would be Desale Brett. You are the culprit. Oh, the bird dead. I can't believe this. These damn Japanese have bested me? The bird is very alive. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Damn you! God damn you all! Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse... My deepest apologies. I seem to have lost myself in a state of despair for a moment. That was most unbecoming of a lady of the Great British Empire. I beg your forgiveness.
Now, witness. Will you finally tell us the truth?
Gladly. The one who killed the good doctor with Carrera was me, of course. You have all already guessed why I chose that specific day to carry out my plan. I already knew that he would have a tooth removed that day.
And so the doctor died, and if the water was investigated, no poison would be found. Because in Japan, Guerrero might as well not exist.
On that day, I had not planned for such a long stay in that restaurant. One sip was all I needed. I was ensure he drank this. That would be the end of it. First, I ordered a beefsteak to place in front of him, so that it would seem he was dining alone. I had intended to withdraw from the scene immediately after. However, suddenly, an unexpected individual appeared. Would that be me? Yes, of course. I'm referring to you. You just had to come up and say hello, even though you had no pressing business. I lost my chance to withdraw from the scene. Eventually, the doctor drank his glass and lost consciousness. I propped up his body on the chair so he wouldn't fall over and cause the scene. This was the point of no return. There, in the spur of the moment, I concocted my plan.
Plan to frame the defendant for Dr. Watson's death?
The doctor always carried that pistol for self-defense. I realized that I could use it to my advantage. On that day, I had brought with me a small bottle of Carrera within my handbag. But underneath my skirt, I had also concealed a pistol of my own. Underneath your skirt? I knew it! There really were two pistols. Yes. Then, by the time I had finished my coffee and moved to leave the restaurant, he had already thrown his pistol on the floor, right?
I mean, we've already gone over why it's not in the bag. Her bag is see-through. Like, we brought this up before, like, she could have hidden the gun in the bag. Well, no, she couldn't, because the picture shows that her bag is see-through.
You put it in my line of sight. You knew that I would walk by you on the way out. Just as I planned, you took notice of the stray pistol. Then, just when you picked it up, that was when you fired your hidden pistol. The doctor was already dead by that time, so you shot his corpse. The sound of the gunshot echoed within the establishment. Then, the waiter appeared. I restrained the defendant, whom I thought was the culprit. and I locked him in the storeroom at the back of the kitchen. That was my chance to turn the doctor's chair so that his back was facing the table. Naturally. That was so Dr. Watson would appear as though he had been shot by the defendant. That's all I have to say. I've told you everything about my crime. Your Honor.
Yes?
If you would be so kind, I would like to have a private chat with you after the trial.
Very well. I will call for you.
And with that, I bid all of you farewell. We probably won't know the motive until like the end of the game, because a lot of the other Phoenix Wright games do that too. You have like one connecting thread throughout all the cases. I hope you'll forgive me one day, Mr. Naruhodo.
And thus, this trial seems to have finally come to a clear conclusion. Do you have any objections, Prosecutor Alchi?
Impossible! I, Takasuchi Alchi, I've been defeated by an amateur university student?
Here thereafter, your walk down the prosecutor's path will be a fair bit harsher.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Yes? I swear to you, until the end of days, the Alchi clan will be a royal pain in your side.
Sure will. Prideful men of old will be toppled by the younger generation.
Please don't pull out your sword in court. That's the natural course of history. Make sure your descendants know that as well.
No, no, you're going to jail. A 100 generations have passed, but your descendants will never rival those of this man. On this day, this trial held within our most hallowed Supreme Court marks the beginning of a new chapter in the history of law in this country. Even standing here as your own attorney, your defense was superb.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In this current age, a court is where the truth is pursued through the use of evidence and logic. As you all know, it has been decades since our country's borders were open to the world. Due to the knowledge brought in from the West, our country now knows the concept of science. Science will breathe life into new methods of investigation and the trials to follow. What awaits us beyond the door to the future of law? As the new generation of the law, it is your responsibility to open that door. Kazuma Asogi.
Yes?
After this trial, you will begin your journey to the British Empire as a student of law. A vast world and a new culture await you. Make sure you learn from it. Accomplish the mission imposed upon you. Understood, Your Honor.
What's wrong? You've gone so tense.
It's nothing. Don't worry about it. And you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Sir.
I cannot be sure exactly what it is, but I sense astounding potential in you. Where will you go from here? I'll be waiting at the edge of my seat.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Even at not guilty.
Verdict.
Now then, I shall declare the final verdict for the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Yay. It's not confetti. Cherry blossoms, I assume.
Court is adjourned. They get a lot of mileage out of that gavel slam animation. You can't have goose. They're not going to animate goose feathers because that's like extra animation that can only be used for like one trial. Also, please do not harm the birds. I can't believe I'm standing here right now. I survived a battle in the Supreme Court. Naruhodo, you've really done it. Let me be the first to congratulate you. Then let me be the first to thank you, Asogi. Your defense was exhilarating to watch. Just don't forget that you owe me an extra large beef hot pot from the Yume cafeteria. Really at work today, both of you. Oh, that's the girl. Damn. I thought it was gonna be the professor. A not guilty verdict. Congratulations from the bottom of my heart. Hello there, legal assistant Mikutova. You really came through for us. Oh no, I haven't done anything. Thank you very much. If it weren't for those documents, I can't bear to imagine what might have happened. You should save your things for my father. All I did was follow his instructions to rush to Yume University. Your father. I remember. I'm deeply sorry for interrupting the trial. I am a legal assistant. Please stop ending the flashback. Thank you. Mikatoba. That would mean... Hello everyone! Good work out there! Okay, I got it right this time. You surprised me especially, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Thank you, sir. Oh no, I should be the one to thank you. After all, you exposed the culprit's true identity, a person who deprived my friend of his life. His friend. Come to think of it, you mentioned that earlier. You were the one that invited Dr. Watson to Yume. Yes, that is correct. Professor Mikutova spent several years studying in the British Empire. Is that when you came to know Dr. Watson? Yes, that is correct. We began working together at a certain hospital during my time abroad, you see. Really? I didn't know that. It's ancient history. Let's talk about something more important. Sogi, it's your turn now. The Great British Empire is the de facto ruler of the world. It truly is a grand civilization. Science, medicine, industry, culture, and even criminology. You will bear witness to what unfolds in the heart of the world. Yes, sir. I'm ready to see my mission through to its end. And I'll carry the soul of the Asogi family all throughout. Are you still going to carry that katana around after you arrive in the British Empire? Of course. Katana is the heart of the Japanese people, a sharp blade that can cut through anything. It'll guide me on the road ahead. Honestly, it's frightening just how sharp that blade really is. Oh yes, come to think of it, what will happen to that woman? The true culprit behind Dr. Watson's murder, Giselle Brett. You want to know about her? To be honest, I don't like talking about it. What do you mean? Since she's the culprit, she'll be taken to trial next, right? She's leaving this country. She should be headed to Shanghai soon. Shanghai? She'll never be judged in this empire. What? Why not? Due to the invocation of extraterritorial rights. Detective Hosonaga. That was a truly wonderful display of modern trial tactics today. Let me congratulate you on your hard fought. Wait, before you do, what do you mean by the invocation of extraterritorial rights? Our empire is unable to judge that poor woman's crimes. We're unable to judge her?
Then who on earth will judge her sins?
Her only trial will be in the consular courts of the British Empire.
Consular courts?
What a sad state of affairs this is, Professor.
The Japanese Anglo Alliance Treaty should have rendered these rights powerless in Japan.
Yes, that is correct.
So long as there isn't a grave incident of political importance. Invoking one's extraterritorial rights shouldn't be so simple. Is that so?
Our empires must have made some sort of secret agreement behind closed doors. It's an injustice, no matter how you look at it.
The Zilbret can't be judged in this empire?
I'd say she saw the trial as little more than a mere game. She knew there would be no danger to her well-being from the very beginning.
What do you mean? The Great British Empire's Ministry of Foreign Affairs appealed for her extradition. The British government wants to handle this murder situation in a discreet manner.
Moving forward, we have to be the ones to bring forth change. The world is in deep turmoil as we head towards the 20th century. Someday, the day will definitely come when the hammer of justice will be brought down upon her.
Yes, it definitely will. We'll change the world until it does.
Alright, let's be done with this serious talk. How about we all celebrate together this evening?
Professor Mikotoa.
That would be great. We won't change anything if we just stand around looking grim.
Let's celebrate Ryunosuke Naruhodo's acquittal with a blast. Feel free to come celebrate at Lakwanto's. I, Hosonaga, will make preparations for a very special dinner. Mr. Hosonaga? You're supposed to be a detective, right? Now, let's not fret over the smaller details. Let us go. Will the professor be joining us?
Of course, I hear the cutlets at Lakwantos are most exquisite.
Then I'll go finish the procedures for Naruhodo's acquittal. Thank you very much. Blood adds flavor. Our empire is powerless to try Zilbret in court. Does that mean we'll never know the truth? Why did she murder Dr. Watson? Asogi.
What is it, Naruhodo?
Let me thank you again. You really saved my life today.
I didn't do anything at all. Which one of us was your attorney again?
Asogi, I know you'll be the best attorney in the world. I wonder about that.
It just moans.
Tell you the truth, during that trial, I kept thinking, maybe you're the one who's meant to be an attorney all along. Huh? What are you talking about? The only time I really helped you was at the beginning of the trial. You have talent for being an attorney. No way! I never want to go through another terrifying battle like that again. Besides, all I did was listen to what you told me. I just believed in you.
That is exactly why you have a talent for it.
What do you mean?
Think about it, Naruhodo.
What do you think is an attorney's most valuable weapon? Well, I guess his knowledge of the law would be pretty important.
Wrong. It's the power to believe. This is the most anime conversation. Anyway.
Power to believe?
An attorney fights for his client. No matter what, it all starts with belief.
That's true. You believed in me. None of us are omnipotent. That includes me. I'm only human. Despite that, I have to believe in something when I'm standing at the defense bench. In court, when you're backed into a corner and have nowhere left to turn, it's hard to keep believing in what you must believe in. That is the sense. It's hard to keep believing in what you must believe in. It's
definitely not something that just anyone could do.
You believe in your client.
And today, you believed in an amateur student like me to the end.
Huh?
No matter how many desperate situations you were thrust into, you didn't stop carrying on. You never doubted my words. You seized the truth with your own hands.
Asogi.
Naruhodo, there's actually something I want to talk to you about. I, Kazuma Asogi, have a heartfelt request for you.
Well, what's with all the sudden formality? Oh, are both of you still here? Oh, Detective Hosonaga. I've gotten a rickshaw for us. Now, let us depart.
I see. My apologies. We should get going now. Naruhodo, we'll talk about that later. For now, let's go celebrate your victory.
And don't forget about your trip to the British Empire too, which we're totally going with him.
Yes, you're right. That too.
Thus, my very first courtroom battle drew to a close. Asogi, Professor Mikotova, and even Susato, the legal assistant. Nato?
I don't know which of the syllables has inflection.
Thanks to all their help, I was able to fight until I was declared innocent. But little did I know that Asogi's request would cause a huge change in my life, setting me on the path I walk now. I never realized it at the time. That request was where it all began. The end. Chapter 1, or Episode 1. 5-hour-long case. Not bad.
Saving.
He was not gonna propose.
It ain't that kind of anime. Anyway, I'm gonna finish here, but before I cut stream, we're gonna watch the intro to the next episode as a kind of teaser, to make you want to come back. So we're gonna watch the beginning of the next episode.
「狭い部屋の片隅、深い闇の中でホームズと私は息を潜めて待っていた。やがて通気口からシューシューと低くうなるような音が聞こえてきた。その瞬間、突然ホームズが飛び出して闇の一点をステッキで鋭く打ち据えた。見たかワトソン。ホームズの張り詰めた声が空気を震わす。私がランプの遮光板を上げると部屋の情景がぼんやり浮かび上がった。ホームズは部屋の隅を睨みつけて私に向かってつぶやくように言った。被害者が死の間際に言い残したまだらの紐という謎の言葉。その恐ろしい正体こそがこいつだったのだよワトソン。そこには巨大な毒蛇が牙をむき威嚇するようにとぐろを巻いていた。それは世にも恐ろしいまだらの紐だった。
Well, what's more anime?
それでは謎解きを始めるとしようか。この奇怪なる殺人事件、その真相をね。失礼。犯行時、扉は内側から缶抜きがかかっていた。缶抜きに細工された痕跡はない。犯行の際、この現場は完全な密室状態だったわけだ。 被害者は死の間際にメッセージを残したようだ。ここに落ちているインクを使って書いたと考えられる。ロシア語。どうやら被害者はロシア人ということか。文字に全く乱れは感じられない。被害者は相当意志が強かったのだろう。見たことのない妙な文字だな。筆跡はこのメッセージとは明らかに違う。いや、これはむしろ人種が違うと断言してもいいかもしれない。札を貼ったのは犯行時間の直前、被害者自身だったようだな。ほう、これはこれは。
一体貴様は何なんだ。好き勝手しやがって。
そうです。海洋警察が到着するまで現場に手を触れず待つべきだ。
その必要はない。どうやら今から5秒以内に諸君を犯人に紹介できそうだ。
バカを言うな。殺人現場だぞ。しかも奇怪な密室殺人だ。
それでは密室の謎、その封印を解くとしましょうか。
まさかその中に犯人が。
一体君は何者なのだ。僕は大英帝国が誇る世界の名探偵なのです。シャーロック・ホームズ。もしかして知らないとか。
Oh, what a teaser, dude! Who could it be? Who is the killer? We had a very sudden shift in perspectives. Anyway, that will be next time, which will be Thursday. I guess I'll try to do Thursday 8:30 p.m. again, and we'll probably do like until a couple hours. That's your teaser. It's gonna be so exciting. So exciting. Alright. Back to title. Here's some hot jams. Yeah, we're gonna rewatch the video on Thursday anyway, so. Okay, thank you for watching. Case 1 was awesome. Very good. It did feel a little dragged out, but it was very fun to play, so fuck it. I'll see you all Thursday.